Okay, so real quick before we kick off the main part of this video, I think a lot of people by now realize we traded in the 2025 Subaru Premium Package for a 2023 Hyundai Santa Fe Calligraphy Edition two-wheel drive. This thing is absolutely insane how nice it is. We went through Carvana, not a sponsored video. I've never actually collaborated with Carvana at all, probably never will, but I can tell you that the process was pretty dang smooth. Took a little longer than we thought, mainly because of their process of needing to get paid before they deliver it, and that taking longer than you might think. So definitely consider that if you're on a timeline. But one of the first upgrades I always do to a new to us vehicle, or any vehicle we have, is to replace the floor mat. So let me show you what's in here. Okay, so these are the factory Santa Fe floor mats. So these floor mats are pretty dang plain. They're just carpeted floor mats. I'm going to rip all these out, and we're going to put a different brand that I've never heard of, never worked with, and never installed before. Most people know I typically go to WeatherTech or Husky floor liners, but this time we're going to change it up a little bit. So my channel sponsor, eTrailer.com, carries this brand called 3D. I've never heard of them before. I've never used them before. That's what the sticker looks like. And they have a different type of texture than you typically see. Plus, they use kind of this furry backing, which I have seen this type of backing on Aries mats before. But these are really cool. And my wife didn't want to go with WeatherTech or Husky because they look a little bit too, let's just say, manly for this SUV. She wanted something a little bit more luxurious looking. And the texture on here, very rubberized, I think will work really well. So we're going to throw these in the Santa Fe and remove the factory ones and see how they look. So the process of removing floor mats is typically pretty easy. You just unhook it. Now my wife's probably going to ask if I cleaned it before I did it, but I think we'll be okay for this. Throw the floor mat in. Yeah, those little fibers on the back, they keep it gripping. Definitely do a good job because it doesn't want to slide around very much. And then that'll hook around here like that. That is a really good looking floor mat. It'll all tuck in. It's got nice high walls to it to collect anything that gets on it. Nice little badging on it as well. Let's get the rest of them in. So there we go. We got them all in. Got the Santa Fe one out. Check that out. That is a much nicer looking floor mat. That's just part of the tag right there. It'll tuck underneath. That looks really, really cool. Nice and custom molded to the vehicle as well. And the backseat one looks absolutely fantastic. Now, I don't know if I want to put the carpeted mats back on top of these, but you really don't need to. But this is really nice, and it's really easy to remove the back one, which is typically a challenge in a lot of vehicles, so they should be pretty easy to clean. That said, channel sponsor eTrailer.com carries stuff for all sorts of vehicles, not just trailers and RVs. So if you're looking for floor mats for just about any make or model of vehicle, bed liners, bed covers, windshield wiper blades, go check them out, eTrailer.com, link in the description. So if you've watched the channel for a while, you all know that I have this Scag Cheetah 2 mower to do some of the heavy mowing out here. This is a pretty impressive mower, but one of the things that we've had a struggle with out here, and I've made content on this before, is the fact that we get a lot of sticker burrs and sand spurs out here. I mean, tons and tons and tons of them. And I've actually showcased a product called the Sticker Burr Roller, which works really well to remove a lot of them. The challenge, though, is that it doesn't pick the vast majority of the ones you're freshly cutting off the ground because it rolls over, so you have to go over them multiple times. Now, that is a really effective tool to help fight the battle of sticker burrs, but it's not going to be like your one solution to fix everything. A big part of it is preventing them in the first place, and actually removing them while you're cutting is super important. So when I found out that my channel sponsor carried this really cool grass catcher from the folks over at Rackham, I had to check it out. And this is specifically made to fit a Cheetah 2 Scag zero-turn mower, but the caveat here is that it's not really made for this specific one. So the installation process of this kind of concerned me when it came in because I wasn't 100% certain if this would do what I wanted it to do with this specific mower. The reason being is because when I saw the specs, it actually did not include the 61-inch velocity cutting deck that you can get on the Cheetah. Now, they make a lot of different adapters to make this fit different types of mowers, and they have a lot of different variations of these for different mowers on the market, including like Toro, Bad Boy, and several others. But the key here is that the bracket that actually attaches to the top of the velocity cutting deck needs to fit properly, so anything coming out will go into this grass catcher. And that was kind of the magic behind this specific setup for us. I was able to verify that it does fit, and it was able to accommodate the side of this 61-inch velocity cutting deck on the Cheetah 2. Now, I just cut a small part of grass because I wanted to see how effective it was, and boy, it filled up very quickly. I mean, I just cut a very, very small piece of grass, and this thing just completely got loaded up with grass in that short period of time. So after removing it, which it's really, really simple to remove, you simply lift it up, tilt it, and pull it out and off of this little groove right there. I was actually really surprised how intuitive that was. But you can see it has absolutely collected a tremendous amount of grass. The challenge I see, though, is if you have a lot of grass, this thing's going to fill up really, really fast, and you're going to be emptying it out a lot. The cool thing is the little hatch off the back simply lifts up, and then you can pull it out through the little grooves right there, so you can empty it out relatively quickly. But this area right here that I cut had a ton of sticker burrs in it, and as you can see, this does a great job collecting them. Now, if you have a smaller yard, then this would probably come in really, really handy. But if your grass is wet and it's tall, it's going to add a lot of weight to the mounting area right here and where it connects to the mower, and I could see that potentially being a problem if you're not emptying it out frequently. So this is one area where I recommend, if you get this, you just have to know what you're getting and understand the capacity of it, as well as how often you might have to empty it out. But we're going to continue to mow. I wanted to give you guys kind of a preliminary idea of how this works, and it collects the grass really well. It gets pretty heavy pretty dang quick, and you can definitely feel the weight when you're trying to lift it off of the bracket. It said you had to actually remove this deflector right here, which is not the case. I did not have to remove it. It doesn't interfere with it at all, and I can still drop this down if I need to, which is nice. At least I think I can. I haven't actually tried. Well, I see what they're saying. That's going to kind of sit on the bracket right there, so you really can't lower it completely, but it will still offer some deflection. So if you wanted to keep that on, I don't see it as a mandatory thing that you have to remove. But what do you guys think? It's pretty dang cool, and I was really surprised to see that my channel sponsor eTrailer.com carries this, mainly because they pretty much carry all of the Rackham equipment, including that cool little tray that I installed on the back of my Texas Pride trailer. But yeah, I'm pretty interested in seeing how this performs. And for us, one of the reasons we want to remove the sticker burrs is because we want to put a volleyball net up in a certain part of the yard, and just getting them out of that area is going to be really helpful. And I think that this will work great for that relatively small piece of the area that we'll be cutting. Otherwise, we'll just blow the mulch back out onto the yard, or blow the clippings back out onto the yard, so it continues to do its thing and fertilizes and does whatever dead grass does. But that's kind of the update on this one. This is a pretty cool little setup here, and again, this is really cool that the folks over at eTrailer carry these. And again, they carry them for multiple different types of commercial zero turns and probably even some residential mowers. But I'll put a link in the description of this video if this is something you may be interested in. But drop a comment below. What are your ideas for catching grass? I know I can get the big bagger on the back here. I really don't want to have to deal with something like that. This is kind of convenient, especially for the smaller area that we'll be using it. But I'd love to know what your feedback is on this type of grass catcher, and if you have one for your mower and how you like it. So please drop a comment. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.